Tonight, I want you to think about mirrors. Not in any dramatic way. Just think about how many you pass in a single day without looking directly at them. The bathroom, the lobby, the elevator, the dark screen of your phone when it is off. We move through a world full of reflective surfaces, and we only look at most of them for a fraction of a second. Just long enough to check ourselves. Not long enough to check what is standing behind us. Our narrator worked a hotel night shift for 6 months. She looked at a lot of mirrors. And somewhere around month 3, she started to notice that one of the reflections was not attached to anyone in the room. This one stayed with me for days. I think it will stay with you too. I saw her for the first time on a Wednesday in November, standing in the 3rd floor hallway at 3:17 in the morning. Except when I looked up from the desk, the hallway was empty. She was only in the mirror. The lobby of the Harmon Hotel has a full-length mirror behind the front desk, original to the building, set in a carved mahogany frame that management will not remove because it is listed as a heritage fixture. It is angled slightly upward, which means from the desk you can see the lobby behind you and, in the upper left corner of the glass, a partial view of the 3rd floor corridor through the open elevator bank. It is a strange architectural accident. The mirror catches exactly one section of exactly one hallway on exactly one floor. Catches the door to room 304. I was doing the overnight log when I saw movement in that corner of the mirror. My eyes went to it automatically the way eyes go to movement. A woman in a gray dress standing outside room 304, facing the door, not moving. I turned around immediately. The elevator bank was visible from the desk. The 3rd floor hallway beyond it was dark and empty. I turned back to the mirror. She was still there. I stood up and walked to the elevator and rode to the 3rd floor and walked to room 304 and stood in the empty hallway for 2 minutes. Nothing. No sound from inside the room. No one at the door. I went back downstairs. She was still in the mirror, standing in a hallway I had just confirmed was empty. I told myself it was a reflection artifact. Angles and glass and the particular quality of nighttime light playing a trick. I told myself that, and I almost believed it right up until she turned her head and looked directly at me through the mirror. The Harmon is a 12-floor heritage hotel in the Old District, built in 1931 and renovated twice since without ever fully modernizing. It has the bones of something grand and the tired face of something that peaked a long time ago. 88 rooms, a restaurant that closes at 10, a bar that closes at midnight, and a night shift staff of 3. Me at the front desk, a security guard named Bong who did rounds every 90 minutes and slept in the break room between them, and a maintenance man named Eddie who I saw maybe twice a week. I had taken the job in September. Night differential pay, no customer interaction after midnight, and a lobby quiet enough to study in. I was finishing a correspondence course in accounting. The night shift suited me completely. Room 304 had not been occupied since I started. I know because the room assignment log is part of the nightly check and I had run it every shift for 2 months. The room was listed as under maintenance, a notation that had been there, according to the logs I could access, for at least 8 months. I asked the day shift manager about it once. She said there had been a water damage issue that was taking a long time to resolve with the contractor. She moved to another topic quickly. I checked the room record as far back as the system allowed. 14 months of logs. Room 304 had not had a registered guest in all of that time. Whatever maintenance issue had taken it offline had done so over a year before I arrived. After that first Wednesday, I started paying attention to the mirror differently. I began logging what I saw and when. Timestamp, duration, position, any movement or change. By the end of November, I had 19 entries. She appeared on average 4 times per week, always between 3 and 4 in the morning. Always outside room 304, always only in the mirror, never in the actual hallway when I checked. On my 19th log entry, I noted something that made my hand stop moving on the page. In 16 of the 19 sightings, she was facing the door. In 3 of them, she was facing the mirror. In December, I started researching the hotel's history the way you research something when you are not fully sure you want to find anything. The Harmon had the kind of past that old city hotels accumulate without anyone deciding to. A suicide on the 7th floor in 1962. A guest who had a fatal heart attack in the restaurant in 1978. A fire in the kitchen in 1989 that had been contained before it spread. The kind of entries you find in archived newspaper searches that feel distant and factual until you are sitting alone in the building at 3 in the morning. I did not find anything specific to the 3rd floor. Not at first. Then I searched the hotel name together with the room number and found a digitized copy of a local newspaper from 1947. A small article for paragraphs. A woman named Remedios Varka had been found unresponsive in room 304 of the Harmon Hotel and pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. The cause of death listed was cardiac arrest. She was 34 years old. She had been a guest for 11 days at the time of her death. The article noted she had no family who could be contacted. No next of kin. No one came to claim her belongings. I found her name in one more place. A comment in a thread on a local history forum, 3 years old, from someone who claimed to have worked the Harmon night shift in the 1990s. The comment said the mirror behind the front desk used to face a different direction before the 1989 renovation. After the renovation, when they repositioned it, a night clerk reported seeing a woman in the 3rd floor reflection. Management had the mirror realigned twice, trying to eliminate the sight line to the 3rd floor. Both times it drifted back to the same angle within a week. They eventually stopped trying to move it. The forum user's comment ended with one line that I read 4 times before I closed the tab. He wrote that she does not appear in the 3rd floor hallway itself. He wrote that she only exists in the mirror. He wrote that the mirror is not showing you a reflection of the hallway. He wrote that the mirror is showing you somewhere else entirely. That night at 3:41, she appeared in the mirror facing toward me and raised one hand and pressed it flat against the glass from the other side. I know what I should have done. Looked away, gone to the break room, called Bong on the radio and invented a reason to not be alone in the lobby. Any of those things would have been correct. Instead, I walked toward the mirror. Not all the way. I stopped 4 feet from it, close enough to see her clearly for the first time. In 2 months of sightings, I had only ever seen her at a distance, a gray shape in the upper corner of the glass. Standing this close changed everything. She was not translucent. She was not the washed-out, foggy apparition of films and stories. She was as solid and detailed as any person standing 4 feet from me would be. Gray dress with a small collar, dark hair pinned back on one side, eyes that were looking directly into mine with an expression I have spent a long time trying to name. Not malevolent, not frightened, something closer to exhausted. The look of someone who has been waiting so long they have moved past urgency into something that is simply the permanent condition of their existence. Her hand was still on the glass. I could see the slight flattening of her fingertips where they pressed. I raised my own hand and held it up in front of me without touching the mirror. A response. I do not know why I did it. She looked at my hand. Then she looked back at my face. She opened her mouth. The sound that came out did not come from the mirror. Came from directly behind me. A whisper so close I felt the movement of air against my ear. One word, spoken in a voice that had not been used in a very long time, dry and faint and perfectly clear. She said, "Stay." The lobby lights went out. Every light, the exit signs, the desk lamp, the glow from the computer monitor. Complete darkness for 5 full seconds. When they came back on, the mirror was empty. My reflection stood alone in the glass, my hands still raised, my face a color I did not recognize as mine. Behind me on the marble floor, leading from the elevator bank to the spot where I stood, were wet footprints. Bare feet, small and narrow, leading to me and stopping directly at my back. There were no return prints. Whatever had made them had not walked back. I resigned the following morning. I typed the letter on the lobby computer at 6 a.m. and left it on the day manager's keyboard and walked out while the breakfast staff was arriving. I did not go back. I did not collect the personal items I had left in my desk drawer. I did not respond to the 3 calls from the day manager asking me to reconsider. I have not worked a night shift since. I am not sure I could. What I am about to tell you, I have not told anyone who knows me. I am telling it now because I have been carrying it for 2 years and it has not gotten lighter with time. 3 weeks after I resigned, I received a package at my apartment. No return address. Inside was a photograph, black and white, printed on paper thin enough to be old. A woman standing in a hotel corridor. The Harmon, recognizable from the carpet pattern, standing outside a door with a brass number plate. The number on the plate was not 304. It was a different room number, my apartment number. I turned the photograph over. On the back, in handwriting that pressed deep into the paper the way someone writes when they are pressing very hard or when the hand doing the writing is not entirely familiar with the motion, were 4 words. I can see you. I have covered every mirror in my apartment. I have covered the dark screen of my laptop when it is off. I have covered the black glass of the oven door and the chrome finish of the bathroom fixtures and the window at night when it goes reflective. I tell myself this is manageable. I tell myself she is in the hotel, in that mirror, tied to that building. But last week I walked past a shop window downtown and I stopped because I saw my reflection, and standing directly behind my reflection, visible only in the glass, not on the street behind me where I turned immediately to look, was a woman in a gray dress. She was smiling. She had never smiled before. I think she has finally found a way out. You've been listening to the 3 a.m. Scary Stories podcast. If you want more eerie, unsettling, and unforgettable stories like this, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, keep your doors locked, keep your eyes open, and try not to wake up at 3 a.m.